Rahul Shrivastava, you followed the elections to the Rajya Sabha, and I still remember you were on my show, especially when the Ahmed Patel elections were going on, and it was down to the wire for days on end. But coming back to the lists that have been picked up by both political parties, how do they merit if you compare the choice possibly the Congress has made for the 10 and the 22 by the BJP?
CPT, I will dare to slightly disagree with Mahapandit of politics, Rajiv Sardesai. Actually, there is a similarity between what the BJP and the Congress have done. Both are consolidating, but consolidating for whom? The BJP is consolidating for the party for the future. The Congress is consolidating for the family. The problem for the Congress is that where does the Congress go from here on? It is right from the Chintan Shivar, you see, the entire exercise has been to keep the flock together, whosoever is with them, and perhaps to emphasize the supremacy of the first family. And that is why this entire exercise of taking Dilliwala to Haryana and Delhiwalas to Chhattisgarh, this entire exercise is basically to cover over the kind of fissures which exist in the Congress party. So it does not help the Congress politically in future, it helps perhaps the first family. And while the BJP with its social engineering, see, when you bring in the element of Muslim, there will be no Muslim MP in the two houses. Well, that's an accepted fact when BJP didn't field Muslim candidates in UP. The fact is that the BJP has come to terms with the fact that Muslims are not going to vote for it. Having a Muslim in the Council of Ministers or IMP does not bring them any dividends. But there is one fact, that if you talk about Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, he's a minister and the BJP will not like to let him go. There are certain openings, say the by-election for Rampur, he is from Rampur, he could be fielded from there. Then remember that if his term ends in July and he can continue as a minister till for the next 6 months, there is going to be another round of Rajya Sabha elections in 2024, and that is where 2023, and that is where perhaps Mr. Naqvi can be accommodated. But that's not the deal breaker for the BJP. What the BJP is trying to send out a signal. You look at the entire Rajya Sabha map for the BJP. You have OBCs and weaker sections, 6 of them in UP. In Bihar, you have 1. In Karnataka, Jagish, who is an actor in Leher Singh, though Yadurappa camp, but OBCs. MP, 1, Madhya Pradesh, 1 Dalit, 1 OBC. Uttarakhand, 1 OBC. Maharashtra, 1 OBC. There is a Dalit in Haryana. In Jharkhand, there is an OBC. The BJP is trying to address the demographic base of the party, which has brought great benefits electorally for the party. And that is why the signaling is for a future, not perhaps to cover up the present.
Okay, stay with me. Rasheed Kidwai, I want you to deep dive into the list that has been put out by the Congress, which many and most of them come from within the Congress, who pretty much are saying that, you basically rewarded deadwood over talent.
Preeti, I think there were so many aspirants in the Congress for Rajya Sabha bar that whatever Sonia Gandhi had done, it would have looked bad and would have been subject to criticism because there were very few seats were there. But that is not a difference. In terms of optics, see, Sonia Gandhi has not made any, or for that matter Gandhi, any attempt to, give a democratic look. As they say, aate mein namak milaya jata hai, namak mein aata nahi milaya jata. See, I have covered, and Rajiv is here, you've covered politics for decades. We have not seen any instance where a national political party has got so many outsiders in a state and not giving any recognition to the, so to say, to locals. So this is a very glaring omission at Sonia Gandhi called the Central Election Committee. If you look at the press release, it is signed by Mukul Vasnik as in charge of Central Election Committee, but Central Election Committee never met. She did not consult the 2 chief ministers. I mean, in the sense that, in terms of meeting, maybe she spoke to them on phone or whatever, or there was a talk of a Zoom call in which somebody from London was also involved. So all this is, in terms of optics, Congress is, losing out a big battle because it is seen as, perpetuating Darbari culture, etc.
But, Mr. Kidwai, optics, where are the optics? The likes of Mr. Pramod Tiwari, the likes of Mr. Vivek Tankha, there are so many and the list keeps going on, even Mukul Vasnik. What do they actually bring to the table? What is it that they do for the Congress? Because this is poor optics, if one has to say.
Preeti, if you see the list of the Congress, the task force has established for 2024, out of the 8 members, 6 of them have made it to this list of Rajya Sabha. It means they will not be contesting and they will be fighting, whatever fight, what it is. So you can go on questioning. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whoever had got, a Congress ticket. The advantage with the BJP is that whatever, because the Modi chief minister loses, but the BJP wins the state. And they say, खुदा जब हुस्न देता है तो नजाकत आ ही जाती है. So you cannot compare the present day BJP with present day Congress.